and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, they're still the best. They're still the champs. Everyone wants to crown the Celtics the champions, but that's not the way it works. They got to beat them. And, they got to get through the East, which isn't going to be fun to begin with. Everyone thinks it's so automatic.
If it's just Boris is kind of losing his power, if whatever his tactics have been, yeah, move on.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on
And welcome in. It's InGame Live Prime Time on a terrific money-making Tuesday. Keep our fingers crossed. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours right here on the grid as we watch and, more importantly, bet on the world of sports. Ah, yes, NHL, NBA playoffs resuming tonight. We got a couple of Major League Baseball games that I suppose we can keep a peek on as well. We got same-game parlays. We got black clouds. And the answer, we need to find out. Will any NBA road team, Mr. Sharapan, win tonight? And then will the Rangers basically put a fork in the Washington Capitals, taking a 2-0 series lead if they were to win? And I'm guessing that's what you want to see based on your outfit tonight. I've never seen you in a New York Rangers outfit. Generally, you shy away from the Rangers, but I see you must be betting on them tonight.
Every once in a while, you got to break out the fine china, right? Like you don't just come into regular season games as a Penguin guy. It doesn't hurt to put this on, but this is a pretty nice jersey, okay? Yeah. And this hat, I got it. I got the Liberty thing on there. This is a nice jersey. Yeah, let's get the Rangers in tonight. Let's get an early 2-0 series lead. Get this closer to advancing to the Rangers being in the Eastern Conference Finals would be very beneficial, but one series at a time. Good first period. They gave up the first goal, answered with 2, win the first game 4-1, pretty much controlled it from beginning to end, I think. So, in game, we'll look to play them again maybe, and let's go Rangers. I feel bad for the Islanders. I couldn't wait to talk to you. We had Kurtz on yesterday. We'll have Kurtz on later again today. It was a crushing loss for the Islanders yesterday. But the Panthers are playing tonight, the Battle of Florida. That's on our parlay. That's a good night right there. That's at live NHL slate. We got the Battle of Florida, and we got an old Patrick Division matchup. Some good hockey, Wetzel. It's been pretty entertaining.
Yeah. You really had the gamut, Dave, yesterday of being a sports fan if you're a loser, right? I mean, pick the way you want to lose. You could lose, like the Orlando Magic did in a blowout, from start to finish against Cleveland. Yeah. You could lose the way the Bruins did, which was, close game. They were leading 2-1, but nothing crazy, but you lose. Then you can lose the way the Islanders did, which is have a 3-0 lead. But then to me, it got even worse. You could lose the way the Lakers did, right, and have a 20-point lead and then have the guy hit a shot at the buzzer. Or ultimately, I really do believe this is the worst as a fan for me. If I was a fan of any of those teams, and I am with the Bruins, the Philadelphia 76ers loss to me is the worst because it was a close game back and forth. You were trailing. You had a 6-point lead with less than a minute left. And while you didn't lose at the buzzer per se, you blew a 6-point lead and you had a chance to win at the buzzer and didn't. So I don't know which one is the easiest way to go, but to me, that was the worst one of the 5.
Yeah, I didn't like the Sixers loss either, although I had them plus 4.5, so they covered. But it's no solace because they thought they were going to win the series. Now they have to win 4 of the next 5, which means they have to win both home games. So the series price fluctuation is great. We talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about it more tonight. That price is crazy to me. Crazy on the Knicks. Minus 520. I don't know. We got to work out the math. I mean, they're 4.5-point dogs in Game 3. So you see the fluctuations. The Knicks got 8 straight points in 27 seconds to win that game.
Yeah.
Nurse tried to call timeout. He didn't get it. Maxey got mugged.
Nah, I don't buy that. I don't.
He got mugged.
Nah, he didn't get mugged. That's basketball. Come on. And if you look at the replay, yeah, that's basketball. You know what's amazing, Dave, between the Nurse and Embiid and LeBron crying last night? Welcome to our club, boys. And I say that because NBA fans who follow the sport every single night and live and die on the team's results every single night have been dealing with bad officials all year. But the players and the head coaches, they don't care about the regular season. Whatever. You want to go take a break? Go ahead. Take a rest? Go ahead. You don't have to play tonight. Win, lose, who cares? But now, they do care finally, and now they're seeing what we've been seeing, and now they're all getting agitated because the referees suck. But you know what? Well, again, welcome to our world. But if you look at the replay of Nick Nurse, he tried to – first of all, he screwed up. As soon as the Knicks tied it, or as soon as the Knicks cut it to 3, and he saw the Knicks pressing, he should have called timeout, inbound the ball at half court, get fouled,
right there.
You hit a free throw, boom, ball game's over. So he screwed up right there. Then you see him try and call timeout, but once he sees the ball get inbounds, he quickly drops his hand and no, I don't want a timeout. And then by the time he tried to call timeout again, Maxey, I think it was, he lost control of the ball, and at that point you can't call timeout. So
he lost control of the ball because his jersey got pulled and his arm got pulled back and all that other stuff. There was no foul.
I don't call that.
But
fourth, fifth grade girls basketball, I let that go. Go ahead.
That's you're an official that lets stuff go. That's fine. I understand it. Okay, but to me, that Laker loss at the buzzer. I mean, that was the first time the Nuggets have ever had a postseason buzzer beater, and
really,
it was a classic. That was I mean, Murray couldn't make a shot the first 3 quarters. Just keep shooting, shooters shoot. You hear it all the time. He did. That was a big moment, and I really thought the Lakers. I thought the Lakers were going to draw the series out, and winning a game in Denver. I don't know how many games Denver's going to lose in the playoffs in Denver, but it's only 1 or 2 most likely. I don't think anybody's beaten them twice up there, maybe once, but now we have a classic series. We have a classic moment, and we have an unbelievable series price. I mean, I don't even like the take back is plus 920. You could argue maybe make the take back a little higher, 11-1, 12-1. Would you put any shekels or American money on the Lakers at this point to come back in this series and even just make it to a game 7?
Right. Well, I spent all afternoon looking this stuff up. NBA teams, records of teams that win game 1 of an NBA playoff series. Now, keep in mind, that generally means they're the better team and they're at home, generally, right? But that said, playoff history, 672 to 191.
Oh, I'm right.
So they basically win about 3 out of every 4 out of every 5, whatever. Yeah, 3 out of every 4 series.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. Now the Lakers are down 2-0. I got 2-0 stats for hockey. I don't have 2-0 stats for NBA. I didn't have that much time today. So I would bet the Lakers, just to put the black cloud on LeBron. Oh, wasn't it great last night hearing LeBron cry about the officials?
Oh,
Here's a guy, I want to get into. I know this is InGame. We'll get to the games going on, but let me just explain something to you, Lucy, meaning the listeners and viewers. LeBron has fouled out of 0 games this year. LeBron has had 5 fouls in a game 1 time this year. He's had 4 fouls in a game 2 times this year. He's had 3 fouls in a game only 4 times this year. He's played over 70 games, Dave, with basically really 0 and 1 or 2 fouls in every single game. And now he's going to bitch and complain about officiating. Really, LeBron? Oh, yeah, really? See, again, you don't care about the regular season, and now you're, the officials look the other way all season long for him, and now he's going to complain. Please.
I like this. You've kind of taken the official side in this. Like you've taken the approach because you now are an official and you wear the stripes. You've been, in that crucible, having people question your work, question your calls. This is a good turn. I like this. It's going to be a hell of a show tonight.
Yeah. Talk about crazy lines. The Celtics line we got to talk about.
Talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Just getting underway. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 hours. Looking and betting on the world of sports. All right, so hockey, we got the Rangers up 2-1, as we mentioned. Florida just scored again, so we got 2-0 Tampa Bay. And then we had both those in the first period. Or actually, Ranger games in the second period. But first quarter for the Celtics, the Suns, I got Celtics on my mind. Minnesota and then Phoenix closing out the first. Another low-scoring game. We'll get into some of these goofy trends. But Minnesota's leading to 22-21, Dave. But just to follow up on what we said before, and we can get into this a little bit more, but I did want to bring up the Celtic line real quickly. You realize they are 500-1 to win their series against the Miami Heat. Keep in mind, they're up 1-0, not 2 or 3. 1 game. What's going to happen if the Celtics win game 2, Dave? I mean, 500-1 when you're up 1-0. Are you kidding me?
I'm surprised it's even still up. Like a lot of times, there's not even space for another zero in the computer system.
Right.
There's no reason to put it up. Like there were so many. I think back to some matchups where the 1 seed was playing the 8 seed, and we would have a series price up, and guys would come in, and I mean they would lay, 20,000 to win a dime, and they wouldn't think anything of it.
That's crazy.
So if that team wins the first game, they're laying 20 to 1 there, 20,000 to win 100 now. I mean, that's 200 to 1. You're laying $50,000 to win $100. I mean, you get better return on a really bad investment at the bank for that. So after the Celtics win the first game, there is no more. Like if they win the next game, you just turn it off. There's no bet. There's nothing you can do. It just becomes so astronomically high that it's useless. So, I mean, is it that big of a disparity? Is there any chance the Celtics lose a game in the series, let alone the series?
Well, I think they can lose tomorrow. It's the Celtics. It's the Celtics. They had a 32-point lead. I know because I grabbed Miami plus 32.5. They had an over 30-point lead cut to 13 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, this is the perfect storm. It's why we might get a low-scoring Colorado-Winnipeg game tonight. These teams that get blown out, I would love to really find – I meant to do this. I don't know how I could do it. Maybe I could call my boy Mark Lawrence. He's got a computer that spits out everything. But I would like to know, Dave, teams' records straight up and against the spread that lose playoff games by 20 points or more. Without knowing the answer, I'm telling you, it's got to be way more positive than negative. Maybe not win outright, but cover the spread, absolutely. Without a shadow of a doubt. Whenever something crazy happens like that Winnipeg-Colorado game, everything is the antithesis of that timeout. Gotta go.
There it is. Yep.
Rangers?
Washington. Nope.
Wow.
Rempe took a penalty. When you're watching a series, the only way the Capitals, I think, are going to be able to score is on a power play. So Rempe took a bad penalty. Nice break into the zone. And was that TJ Oshie? I don't know who that was in front of the net, but somebody got a deflection pass. Igor. It's tied 2-2. 15 minutes left. Second period. Dylan Strome. First goal of the series. And the Capitals are right back in it. Capitals are going to scrap. They're going to fight. They're going to hang around. They're going to win a game in this series.
Yes.
I don't think the Heat are going to win a game in their series, Scott. I really don't.
Really?
Yeah. Unless Jimmy's coming back, and Jimmy's not coming back, right? I don't think they're going to win a game in a series. Nah, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. I hope. And listen. I kind of hope they do, just to put a little scare in the Celtics, because they always play down to their level of competition. That's why I think Miami's going to put a scare in them somewhere along the line. I'm telling you, you watch them. I bet that's a close game. I bet they cover the spread tomorrow. I don't even know what is the spread in that game. I'm guessing like 17, 16, 15. Yeah,
15 and a half in different places. Yeah, that's really high. I mean, that's really high for NBA playoff game. But you have to make it something. It was in doubt last game until the end, when I thought that was a cheap shot. The guy took kind of run at Tatum and knocked him down. He jumped right back up at the end of the game, but the free throws and everything ended up winning by 20. I mean, obviously the move is to take the points, but I don't know. Talking about the home teams winning tonight. The home teams are winning tomorrow. The Celtics are winning tomorrow, and OKC is winning tomorrow. There's only 2 games tomorrow. They're both winning. So if a road team's going to win in the NBA, it's tonight.
All right, you see that bracket there, Knicks and 76ers, right? The Sixers up, or check that. Knicks up, obviously 2 games to none after last night. And you got Orlando, Cleveland. That's 2 games to none. We're going to look at a lot of days that aren't going to have basketball if these series continue the way that they're going. Home team, Dave. This is really amazing. The home team lost game 1. NBA's not calling it postseason, but the playing games. All right. Lakers win at New Orleans, first game of the extra season. Home team has won every single game since. Every single game since. I mean, do we not just bet Milwaukee and Minnesota tonight? It's early, but they are, well, now it's tied at 24. But do we not just bet Milwaukee and the Clippers? Winners bet with streak, losers bet against streaks? Or do we think, okay, that's got to turn, right? I mean, that can't possibly continue.
You've heard of the zigzag theory. I've heard it now for 20 years. I heard it when I first moved to Vegas. I'm like, zigzag? Yep. When one team wins the first game, you zig and you zag, or you bet the opposite in the second game. You can do that tonight with Indiana. I got no interest in that. But I think Dallas, I'm leaning that way, right? Dallas is got to be way more competitive. I just can't believe how quickly teams kind of say, you know what, we can't win. We're going to lose by 20. That's fine. I don't think that happens tonight.
We'll update the NBA series lines for all the games coming up next.
Talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, focusing mostly tonight, right, on the NBA NHL playoffs day. But I do want to point out our favorite whipping boy, well, at least they turned into that. The LA Dodgers are losing again.
Man.
At Washington. It's all about, finding good, games, right? So you're getting the LA Dodgers now down 1-0. Top of the sixth inning. This doesn't make any sense. You better double check on this. But top of the sixth inning, supposedly you're getting plus 120 on the Dodgers down 1-0 with supposedly 2 on, 2 out. I mean, that's are they going to lose to the Nationals? Getting odds in the sixth inning? That's pretty good.
Yeah, Corbin's having a hell of a start. I mean, you wouldn't have thought that before. The line closed today. Dodgers minus 220, 230 in places. And now you can get them plus 110 or 120, depending on where you shop. I'd like to do it if they don't score, right now. If you get them now and they score, then obviously they're the favorite. But if they don't score here and still have 3 ups, 7, 8, 9, you're going to get a much bigger price. So, but listen, they can lose. Scott, this is one of those things that April, everybody's kind of figuring things out. And, the Dodgers pitching hasn't been what was expected. So, I don't know. I wouldn't jump right away to go and just play that.
Yeah, I tell you, I think the Dodgers did just tie it, but I would have been all over. In fact, I was in the break. You want to give me the Dodgers?
They just tied it. There you go.
Yeah.
Now they're minus 200.
They went from +1 to minus 200, tying the game. Not a 3-run homer to take a 3-1 lead. Crazy.
Well, it goes back to the original number, right? It's tied 1-1, so it goes much closer to the original number. But yeah, this is when you said it. You get the Dodgers plus money against the Nationals on the road. So you're getting the 9 at bats. They can open this game up at any point. That's a good bet. There you go.
Yeah. All right, Bucks and Pacers tip off here in about 10 minutes. I got to get an update on the Giannis situation, but Bucks take game 1, shockingly, and even maybe more surprisingly, Dave, that they hold Indiana to less than 100 points. I mean, that's just, that over-under was 231, a little bit lower tonight. You see a 15-point win, and it really wasn't even that close. Weird thing, Dame Lillard goes for 35, right? None in the second half. Could you imagine having his, prop over 40 points or more, which you could bet, right? And he's got 35 at halftime. You're thinking, oh, my God, this is easy money, right? I should have doubled my bet. Guy doesn't score in the second half. They still win, but we said 16-1 home teams. Are the Bucks going to win again?
Yeah, I think so tonight. But, again, it's more against the teams that are in the playoffs for the first time on the road. Like Orlando looked lost both games in Cleveland. The Pacers looked lost. They started slow. The game got away from them. Dame couldn't miss, like you said. And the deficit was 20 early, and they never could come back. So don't expect that. Like Pacers first quarter might be a play. I think they keep it close. I just think that the veteran – leadership, whatever it is, from the Bucks, they end up winning the game. It's going to be interesting though, where one of these teams is going to win on the road. If that series price, the Bucks went to minus 230. Now it was the Pacers favored before the first game. It goes back to Pacers favored if the Pacers win tonight.
How do they go from being dogs, you win game 1, to minus 230? That's a big jump, right? I could see minus 150, 160, 170, but, that's a 200-point swing. That's nuts.
Yeah. Well, I can't explain it in a minute, but you just do the math. There's a series pricing formula that you kind of use based on what you think the point spreads are, and then you price it out. And the other thing is they bet the Pacers a lot in a lot of places, and now you got them. So you can't give them a shot to get out at a cheap price on the Bucks because the Bucks have got home court. How the Bucks weren't favored without home court is a great mystery to me.
Yeah, crazy. All right, quick little break, getting right back to all the action with a little same-game parlay action coming up next.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. He would be identified as that and beyond. Now there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for another hour and a half or so. George Kurtz will join us in about 10 minutes. We'll do some hockey with him. And speaking of hockey, that is the subject of our same-game parlay tonight. Yes, we're going for big bucks here tonight, Dave. We're going to use Winnipeg at home against the Colorado Avalanche. Crazy game 2 days ago, 7-6. Tough if you're late a goal and a half because Colorado scored the final second to make it 7-6, not 7-5. But that said, we're going to right back on the Jets. When I put it in this afternoon, it was minus 105. Basically about the same now, depending on where you do your shopping, even money. But they're not favorites, which makes just no sense to me. They're 4-0 against Colorado now this year, including this, obviously, overtime game playoff game. They've dominated. They've won, with the 24 goals in the 7 games, in the 4 games, rather. I mean, they're averaging almost 7 goals a game. But I don't see it. I don't know why people are still betting Colorado. So give me Winnipeg. I'm going to go under 6.5, which I know after watching the game the other night, how can you possibly do that? I'm just telling you, over the course of time, watching these things, when you get a crazy game like that, the coaches say, hey, guys, you know what? This isn't working. We can't do that again, whether you won or lost. They play a little more conservative. Goaltenders play a little bit better. So give me under 6.5 goals. I'm going to go no overtime. We haven't had an overtime in the postseason yet, so why should this one be any different? We're going to go Nathan McKinnon, 3 shots or more on goal. He can get that in one period. The guy averages 5.5, for goodness sakes. That's just a gimme. And then we're going to go, here's the one that's going to bump it up to 14-1. Highest scoring period, how about a tie, plus 240? Meaning if you get 2 goals in the first and 2 in the second, and you make 1 in the third, and then it's a tie. There's a one period that has one more than the other. I think that's a halfway decent possibility of happening, especially since I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. Add it all up, 14-1. What do you think?
Wow, this is this is definitely a turn from what we've already seen, but I'm okay with that. I'm also, you'll hear the zigzag thing, applies to hockey too in the playoffs. I don't think it does. I like Winnipeg tonight. 6.5 is a good number. I got 6s all here on my odds screen. So if it falls 6-4-2, that's good for you. There's not going to be overtime. I'd be very surprised. That's a good bet. McKinnon looks like he's skating on different ice. He's going to get the shots. The tie is really interesting. This is a Wetzel special.
Yeah.
This one may get you, but this is the one that helped boost it up.
Yeah.
But you're asking for what? A 3-1 and a 3 and another one? That's probably the number, right? We need a 3.
Yeah.
In 2 periods. 3 will probably be the highest. I mean, if it stays under 3, 3, and 0.
I'm thinking 2.
Or 2.
I'm thinking the Rangers.
They went on the power play.
I got 18 seconds left.
Yeah. That was good.
Fudge.
What? What?
How did that get in? I hate the Rangers. I can't root for the Rangers. Although tonight,
you hate the Rangers.
I live in New York. I can't root for a New York team outside of the Knicks and Giants. But boy, these guys can shoot that puck.
See, this is the thing with you New York guys. Like, you can't root for the team. I don't understand. Like, when the Penguins got good, the whole tri-state area was rooting for the Penguins, except the bookies. Everybody at home, like, the bookies didn't want them to win because everybody was betting. Like, that's fine. How are you not rooting? I mean, if you're an Islander fan, I get it. But,
no,
like, this team can actually go back to the Stanley Cup Finals. You get the games right in the neighborhood. I might come back and go to a game with you. Like, root for the team
well, that
to
may
win.
be
What's
worth
wrong?
it. That might be worth it. Well, I live in New York and I have for about 30 years now, but I am from New Jersey, so it is a little different. If I was an actual New Yorker, and I got a lot of friends that love the Rangers, so I don't want them to be happy. So especially since the Devils stink. Think big picture here. We have Florida in our round robin parlay. So, now it's a little bit before they have to face Florida, but eventually down the line, I'd like to have, Washington, maybe eliminate the Rangers. Is that asking too much? This way, Florida's path to the Cup final is a little bit easier. That's another thing we got to think about now.
We do, but at the same time, you can make another bet on the Rangers in the series and cancel it out. Like, we got big odds on that thing. I've been doing it out here myself. We got big odds. And when you start working at 200 to 1, 300 to 1 odds and different things like that, you can fix it. If it's going to lose, you can bet the other side and get out of the bet. You don't take the cash out offer on these apps because it's usually not a fair price. But, yeah, just root for the Rangers to at least beat the Capitals. I mean, seriously, you're going to pick the Capitals over the Rangers, like for storylines and things like that? No. The Caps were my bugaboo growing up in Pittsburgh. Dale Hunter, Mike Gardner, Rod Langway, Pete Peters.
There you go, goalie. Yeah.
Please. Oh, man, it was brutal series. We could never beat that team and finally beat that team in Game 7, and it changed everything. Yeah, I don't like the Capitals. The Capitals are on my list. I don't want – I respect Ovechkin. I don't want to see the Capitals pass 5 games of this.
No shots on goal, by the way, Game 1. He's got one tonight, but it's only the 4th time in nearly 150 playoff games Ovechkin didn't have a shot on goal. So, hey, you asked me before would I bet. Yeah, right? That's pretty good. You asked me before would I bet on the Lakers, I think it was. A couple shekels down, 2-zip. And actually, I would just to, you never know. But the one team I wouldn't have any issue with doing that is with the Islanders. Listen, you blow a 3-0 lead, that's tough. But it's a 3-0 lead, Dave, but it was 3-1 after 2. You're 3-2. The 3-1 lead's not like it was bad because it ended up being 5-3, and it went like that, from 3-2 to 4-3. But anyway, odds on them now to win the series plus 11 to 1. Carolina's minus 2,500. So you got to lay $200 or $2,500 to win 100. That's not happening, obviously. But I think the Islanders are still live dogs. I do. I mean, listen, they played them tough. They could have won Game 1. You can make the case they should have, or at least could have, again, won Game 2. Nearly every game in this series this season has been a 1-goal game, or like these last 2 in the postseason. I'll take the Islanders plus 11 to 1 to bounce back and win a couple games at home.
It's a good bet if you think they're going to win Game 3, right?
Right.
I mean, you could take plus 130 there in Game 3. Now, Game 1, dead under. Game 2 was headed to be a dead under until the third period happened. 5.5's the total in game 3. How do you think it plays out to the total? I think it's another dead under. I don't think there's going to be few power plays. As long as the officials let them play, I think it's an under game. Final score 3-1, 3-2 again. But
yeah,
if there's calls or somebody gets that multiple goal lead and the other team has to open up, this game flies over. This is a perfect game to watch in game and mess around with the total. Because if you get under to start, no score in the first 5 minutes, this goes immediately to 4.5. If there's no score through the 5 minutes, you start wavering around with 3.5.
Interesting. Got to take a break. I want to ask you about the Bruins-Toronto line because that doesn't make any sense to me. Toronto or Boston rather was a small favorite at home, 130, 135, both games, even if they won game 1. Toronto does in fact win, and yet Toronto and Boston are now pick them in the series. That's kind of weird. I want to talk about that. We'll bring George Kurtz in on the conversation as well. In-game live, prime time. Here on the Grid.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the Grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, welcoming in our good buddy George Kurtz, who you see it here all the time here on the Grid. Talking some hockey here, George. I know a tough night for you last night, but hopefully things going a little bit better for you tonight. What are you on? What do you like?
What do I like? Listen, on the Rangers, right? Washington's giving him a fight in this game, and congratulations to the Capitals for doing that. But the Rangers are just the better team here. So big time on the Rangers, have him a number of different ways, including parlays here. So go Rangers here. On Florida, I mean, it's just I thought Florida was the best team in the NHL up until maybe 6 weeks ago. And I think they just took their foot off the gas for whatever reason. Yeah, that's why they didn't win the division there and stuff like that. But I think they're a better team in Tampa. Tampa is... they got the great players, right? And then they lose that depth there with the salary cap problems over the years. I just like the way Florida's playing. Tampa did just score to make it 2-1 here, so maybe they can get they really need to steal this game. I don't know if you're going to go down, even going back to Tampa. I don't know if you're going to go, then beat the Panthers 4-5. Not sure I see that. So the early games on the Rangers, on Florida, so far, so good.
Quick alert. The Rangers just got a penalty, a delay game penalty. So the Capitals are on the power play. This seems to be the only way they're going to score goals. So stay ready for the goal horn. Wetzel, I asked George yesterday if he was the guy behind the dugout that got Boone thrown out of the game. Because, I couldn't tell exactly. The guy had a hat on, but I know that George, was maybe likes to chirp. I don't know personally, but he tried to throw Ranieri off the show yesterday after Ranieri said that the Panthers or the Hurricanes were going to come back and win. George, you were right. You were right about that. Tonight, the Avalanche and the Jets. Are you kidding me? What we saw the other night? Like, Wetzel's got this crazy same game parlay with the total under. He's got the McKinnon shots on goal. He's got the most highest scoring period to be a tie between two periods. What are you expecting in this hockey game tonight?
I'm looking at the Sky's little 5-way parlay. I didn't see what the last one was there, but I do like. They're fun, right? They are fun. Oh, it's a tie. Highest going to be a tie. Okay. So you need what, 1-1 or 2 goals? That's tough, Scotty. That's tough. I kind of like most of it. What? What else can go possibly wrong for me? Oh, it's the Rangers who scored, right?
Goal by the Rangers. Short-handed.
Yes, short-handed, baby.
Yes.
Well,
this is
you
what
should get
we
like
want,
a goal and a half
right?
for that. You really should get like a goal and a half for that.
Hey, Dave called it, by the way, right? Get ready for the horn, and we got ready for the horn here. As far as the game, ordinarily, when you see 13 goals scored in the game, right, you would think the next game would go under, right, because they'll fix the defense here. The problem is the defense for Colorado and the goaltending has been bad now we're talking weeks here. This is not a one-game thing. This is the second time that Georgiev and the Avalanche defense have given up 7 goals to the Jets in a span of 10 days. So I don't know how much difference we're going to see. We've seen Bednar, the coach for the Avalanche, he's running out of way to try and motivate or get Georgiev to play better. Right, about maybe 4 or 5 days before the playoffs began, he actually threw Georgiev under the bus and said, "Listen, we need saves. We need him to come up with saves that he's not supposed to make from time to time." Right? And what you're saying is, he's making all the easy ones, but he's not coming up with the harder ones. That's what he was saying there. Now, if you watch that game, I know he gave 7 goals Sunday night, but if you watch the game, he actually did pull some saves out of his behind. All right, that he shouldn't have made. That could have easily been double digits there. The problem is, I guess, not enough here. Now, Bednar in the press conference yesterday was trying to sort of build him up here. It's not all his fault. And it's not. The defense is just, they're literally just passing the puck right to Peg or right to whatever opposing team they're playing here. It's not just Winnipeg they're having problems with the Colorado defense. So the under tonight, I think you're banking on Winnipeg playing a hell of a lot better on D. We're not going to get 13 goals. All right, that's not going to happen. But to calm it down by 7 for the under, I don't know, because I think Winnipeg is still scoring 4. That's my problem. I think they're still scoring 4 goals tonight, minimum. I just don't trust Georgiev right now, Scotty. That's a problem for me.
Well, here's the issue. He's given up 29 goals in his last 6 games, George. That's 5 goals basically a game. The problem is, 1, he stinks, but 2, the backup is apparently sick. So, this guy better be on his deathbed. Right? I don't care. How sick can you be? And if you're that sick, how come Colorado doesn't have anybody else they can call up? Because I got a feeling if you and I were dressed in a hockey uniform, they would say, go play in goal, because I don't think they have any faith in this guy. I
agree with you, by the way. I agree. I think if they trusted the backup at all here, the backup is Justice Noonan, but he is sick. He's been sick for a while, which makes you wonder, by the way, what's wrong? Well, what do you have? COVID? Ebola? What do you got here that you can't play? It's been such a long time since you've been out here. They did call up Ivan Prosvedov. Once again, he's nobody's answer either. That's their problem. They don't, even with Justice Noonan, by the way, he's not anyone's definition of a great backup either. They don't have that. Listen, they paid their stars, right? The Rantanen, the McKinnons, the McCarrs of the world, they paid those guys. They didn't want to pay for a backup here. So they're paying for it now because Georgiev's not playing well. And I think his confidence is shot. I think it's just shot and it's gone here, which is why I don't trust the under tonight. Come on. As much as I don't think they'll get the 7 again, I'm not surprised if it's 5-6. I'm not. I think right now the guys
Right.
just got no confidence.
So, and we'll get more into this after the break, but I want to ask you about a backup because the line moved so far against Vancouver from the morning number because no Demko. And that was 160 this morning. It's minus 120, minus 125, depending on where you're looking. What's the deal? Another goal? And
Wow.
we're tied.
We got
Hello.
a tie.
Hello.
Uh-oh.
All right.
That's not good.
So, Vancouver, Nashville, George. First thought.
Power play. Yeah.
I mean, Casey DeSmith did not play all that well down the stretch. Remember, he was losing starts to Salovs. Artis Salovs there. So, there's worry tonight. Predators probably could have won game one if not for that 12-second span there. I was liking the Preds tonight anyway. Like them more now with Casey DeSmith in net.
All right. Nashville, that's going to be a great series. Even game one was great on that one as well. Tampa Bay did score. They tied it at 2. So Florida's now minus 178. Tampa Bay plus 134. George, you got a minute? We'll come back and get some baseball picks from you.
Absolutely.
In-game live. There you go. Prime time continues.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan talking with our good buddy George Kurtz. We got some hockey stuff in there. We got a couple of baseball games, George, that I know you like tonight. Oh, we don't have George. All right. There he is.
Yeah, we got George.
Yeah, okay. I heard someone say he's not here. Okay. Yeah, fire away, George.
I'm here. I didn't go anywhere. All right, now, if this would have been last night about 10:30, I was out of here. I'll tell you, last night when the Islanders lost, I was gone. As soon as that 4-3 goal went in, I took the dog, and that's it. I'm out. I didn't want to watch the rest of the game. I was angry. But I'm still here for now. We'll see how things go the rest of the night here, but I'm still here. All right, not disappearing. I'm not on the Yankees, by the way, tonight, so I did not take them. I'm on a lot of the chalk plays tonight. We got the Braves. I think the Braves are one of my parlays with the New York Rangers here, and the Braves are taking care of business. We like that. On the Blue Jays because they're hot, right? I think they've won, 7 of the last 10, whatever it might be.
Yep.
Hard not to take the Orioles. They've won. They're back in first place now in the American League East, winning 10 of 13 here. I'm on all the chalk plays tonight. There's a chalk play tonight. I got it.
Kurtz's best bet is the Braves. What about I got the Braves. What about the Mets and the Giants? Quickly, in less than 30 seconds, what do you got in that thing?
Yeah, I ate it on the Mets last night. I thought they would rebound from Sunday's game. They didn't play well last night at all outside of Peter Alonso here. No, they've lost 2 straight now. You're on the West Coast. I'm going to stay away from them. I am on the Twins in San Diego. You see there in a parlay.
Okay.
I'll take the plus money there. Once again, it's 2 chalky plays. They're both playing. The Twins, I think, are playing the White Sox, and the Padres are playing the Rockies. So I'll take the easy chalk plays there, see if that goes up again. And you can take, by the way, the Rockies to strike out a whole bunch, too, because they're terrible right now. They can't hit whatsoever. What have they scored? 5 runs in the last 4 games, all at cores? They can't hit their way out of a paper bag.
All right, if you're going to do one quickie, one last major bet, what's it going to be tonight?
One last major bet tonight, right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
God. Don't put me on the spot here. Well, God, the Rangers are up 4-2. I can't even go that direction. I think I'll go the over in the Ranger game. Give me the over total in the Ranger game here. I'll take the over 7.5.
All
Excellent.
right, you got it. George, great job, my friend. Appreciate a couple minutes, and I'm sure we'll do it again. Good luck with the bets.
Anytime. Good luck, everybody.
All right. Over in the Ranger game is his play. It's 8.5 plus 148, and you got 4-2 after 2. Not bad. All right. Time for a little black cloud action here on the grid. Yes, this is the play that I like the best of all tonight. We double, maybe even triple the amount of money, whatever it is, whether it's $10 to $20 or whether it's $100 to $2 or $1,000 to $2,000. Had a little success with this. I'm going to go right back to it, and that is, Dave, the Winnipeg Jets. Listen, you don't have to hit me over the head. They've dominated this series. They won the first 3 in regulation or in the regular season. They won, 2 nights ago. In a crazy game, 7-6, you're getting even money, maybe minus 105, depending on where you do your shopping. So, check. You know what? My bad. That was that was the same game parlay. My Black Cloud Dallas Mavericks laying 2, maybe getting 2 now, as I put it. I know. Well, I got so many great bets. I do like Dallas tonight. I think they even a series. I think they break that streak of all these home teams winning. Give credit to the Clippers. Kawhi's supposed to play tonight, but you know what? That's okay. I don't care. Dallas is the better team. They've been on fire, 16-5 to close out the regular season. So give me Dallas laying the 2 or getting 2 now.
I had to put my listing glasses on, Wetzel, because I said I'm looking at the graphic. I see this clouds come in, and everybody's on the Clippers because Kawhi's playing, and Wetzel's on the other side. I love it. I don't like it, but then you were talking about the Winnipeg Jets. I said, hold on a second. What's he talking about? This is a crazy time of year when you're betting too many sports. You're looking at too many things. You got I can't imagine what your desk looks like because mine is a complete mess with notes, sticky notes. I got backup parlay cards like this with notes all over the place, stats, things like that. Let's go Mavs. Let's go Mavs. I want to see the Mavs extend this series out because we don't have either one of these teams in our futures parlay, do we? We don't have either one.
No,
let's
we
play
got no dog
7.
in the fight. Yeah.
Yes, let's
go 7.
Let's
boys.
get a 7-game series. Go Dallas. Let's go.
Yeah. Over under is down to 217. By the way, that was 222, 223, I believe, in game number 1. They dropped that one. Man. Oh, nothing but unders in postseason as well. Home team and unders
All
are
unders,
just
sir.
man. You
Can't
put
make
that
the number
far,
low enough.
Yeah, really can't. All right, hour number 2 coming up next.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, primetime, hour number 2 of our 2-hour extravaganza. Moving along here on a terrific Tuesday night. 2 for 2, as the saying goes. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for another hour. We got NBA playoffs. We got hockey playoffs. We got baseball. Dave, why don't we just start in the NHL since we're both big-time hockey fans. I know that'll make management thrilled and happy. Rangers 4-2 over the Washington Capitals after 2. Over under 8.5. The carrot is out there because the Capitals know they need to get at least 4 goals, so that would push it to 9. We got Tampa Bay once trailing 2-0, tied with Florida 2-2. And that number is back to basically the original number, right? Minus 156. Florida, maybe 160, 165. Tampa Bay getting plus 122. We've yet to have any overtime games. Maybe that'll be our first overtime game this postseason. And then we got, Colorado and Winnipeg starting in about 40 minutes. We have time to get into that. But how about the 2 games that are going on? Your thoughts on both those games? Obviously rooting for the Rangers tonight.
Yep. I feel like we're watching 2 different series in the Eastern Conference. Rangers and Capitals. And, the Panthers and the Islanders, you're right, are going to be a little bit closer. But then the other 2 series, Toronto and Boston last night was great. And Tampa and Florida was one of the most well-played hockey games I've seen in 6 months, game 1, as far as both sides. Physical as could be, goaltending great, pretty disciplined, and it took an empty netter to extend it out to make it 3-1. I think we're going to see that the rest of the night. I think there's going to be another goal by each team in the game. Where it could be 3-3 going in, or it's going to end 4-2, right? I feel like right now, just watching just from a distance, because I got the Ranger game on and trying to get that one over 1 more goal.
How about this one, by the way?
What?
Not to cut you off. FanDuel's got a new bet out there. You can bet on how many shots on goal a team will take in the 3rd period. With Washington down 2 goals, you can get them to get 8 shots on goal, which is not really a lot at plus 118 odds. 10 shots on goal in the period, plus 310.
So the number in my head was 9.5. If you'd have asked me, Dave, how many shots you think, or what's the number? My first thought was 9.5. That would be a great number to bet. Are they going to get double-digit shots on goal or not? So I still kind of got it.
How many shots do they have now?
What do they have, 20? 18?
They have 16. All right, so that's 8 and 8.
7 and 9. So,
That's not a
10's
bad
the
bet,
number.
right?
9.5.
Down 4-2.
That neighborhood.
Pull the goalie. You always get a couple shots on goal when you pull the goal, or when you pull the goalie, right?
Yes
I
and
like
no.
that.
Sometimes you miss the net, you get an icing call. The Rangers are really
Don't rain
good.
on my parade. Don't rain on my parade.
I'm just giving you the other side of the reasoning for the bets.
You always get shots on goal. You're supposed to say, yeah.
I love your
10.
shots on goal prop. You actually introduced me to that when we first started doing this in-game live back with Dane and everybody else and Dubsy and all the the crew when there was 3 of us doing the show. You'd always come on with these crazy shots on goal props, and I started to actually keep track and do the numbers, and I was like, you'd name guys that I wouldn't even know. But then you would have the reason, like 7 of their last 8 games, they went over this number. Nobody was betting that stuff. That was actually a really good market to and then people started, like what happens in the content space. They hear it, they go with it, and then they start copying it. I'll probably hear about this tomorrow on a show or two. Team shots on goal in a period.
Yeah.
I like it. It's not a bad bet. That gives you everybody. That's good.
Yeah. See, the key is the team is down. Right? That's what you got to look for. You got to look for the team that's down. So especially 2 goals, right? Because then they're going to pinch the defenseman just a little bit more. They got to take some chances. You're down 1 goal or tie. Okay, you just play normal hockey. But you're down 2 goals. You got to do something different. And even if you bet the 8 and the 10, the 8 is still plus 118. So as long as they get 8, you put a couple shekels on the 10 as well at plus 310, and if they get at least 8, and I really think they will, you're still going to win a couple dollars.
Scott, what's the Ranger number?
Rangers 8 for the Rangers minus 12 to 1. I'm not doing that.
On
10 for 8 shots. Well, no, they only allowed to go over. Can't bet an under. I hate those bets. I try and my little mini protest. When they don't offer the no, I really. But you have to go
as you're talking
Rangers,
this out. I'm going. I want to bet under 10 on the Rangers because all they're doing is protecting the lead. And crossing a red line, dump it in the corner. Keep it down there, cycle in the corners. Protecting a lead was one of my favorite things that we did playing hockey. When we had a lead, it was so much fun because the other team would get frustrated chasing a puck, and you would just cross the red line, dump it in. They'd have to go back and get it, and then you cycle back. You're not trying to score goals. You're just trying to kill the clock, keep the clock moving, no whistles. So as you're talking this out, I'm going, geez, I wish I had that here. Because I looked up at the Rangers under 10, but you can't bet under. I don't like those markets. That's
Yeah. In fact, if you want to bet over for some reason, they only have 19 shots on goal themselves, but their break-even point, even bet is 12, and even that's minus 130. 14 would be plus 194. Yeah, right. I mean, why would the Rangers get 12 shots on goal? They only have 19 to begin with, and they're leading 4-2. So maybe they think Washington was going to leave the back door open for a bunch of shots on goal. But that's an interesting little market. I like that. You mentioned Tampa Bay and Florida. Your thoughts on that one too? Before I cut you off.
Like I said, I think we're coming down to the end. I think we get a goal by both teams. Would not surprise me, and we get this thing 3-3, maybe overtime, or it ends 4-2. Somebody scores, they play it close to the vest 2-2 under the 10-minute mark, and then somebody scores, and then the empty netter again. Tampa pulled a goalie with 3.5 minutes to go in game 1.
I saw
very
that.
aggressive, very aggressive. So they're going to do it again. That's why I think there'll be 2 goals scored in the period. What do you think about this Vancouver-Nashville game? We touched on a little bit with George. What do you think about this game tonight?
I tell you, it was a good game. Nashville's got to be another tough loss, right? We talked about all those tough losses in hour number 1. That was a brutal. They had that game, but they gave up 2 goals in 9 seconds. I think it was 12 seconds. Unbelievable, yeah, right? Wow. Place was going bonkers. It's always fun at a playoff game. It really is. How about this one for you, Dave? Nashville. In postseason series in which they lose game 1, 0-12.
In
They
game
never
2
won.
or in the series?
Series. My bad. So when they lose game 1 as they did. So do we just bet Nashville?
They've never won a series when they've lost game 1?
No. And how about this? One more for you. Bet the Predators to score 2 goals. Exactly. They've scored 2 goals in all 4 games against Vancouver.
Wow. So exact
How's
scores,
that?
3-2, 4-2, 2-1,
Yeah.
2-1 Nashville. Can we win a game 2-1? Can the game stay under? Under.
Maybe.
I think it's under.
I think we got to take a break. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Third period underway for the Rangers. Here we go. We'll keep an eye on the shots on goal prop. Now you got me interested in that.
Yeah. All right, boys. Yeah. We got to get a break in here, guys? I think we do, don't we? A little bit?
Pretty soon.
10 seconds. Yeah, we got a new clock here. We're going to start working out the kinks. All right. I'm thinking, yeah, old clock.
All right.
All right. Back after this.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast. Only on SportsGrid.
Wow. Holy fudge, Dave. Put the Florida Panthers game on. Greatest save this season. Greatest save maybe ever.
What?
It just happened in the Florida Tampa Bay game. I kid you not. Holy crow.
I gotta see this. I gotta see this.
Welcome back to InGame Live. Bobrovsky was 4 feet out of the net to his left. Wide open net. Puck is right there to his right. I think it was point for Tampa Bay. I could be wrong on that. He backhands it, and he's about, 6 feet from the net. He's not way far out. And Bobrovsky dives with his foot and somehow or another makes the save. Holy crow. Like when they showed it, I thought for sure, I saw the highlight of it, right? So, and it did a slow motion. I'm thinking for sure, okay, Florida just took a 3-2 lead. Or Tampa Bay, rather, just took a 3-2 lead. And then I see this leg come out of nowhere and make the save. Oh, my God, what a save. Wow. That was something.
Well, I can't wait to see it because I was walked in on the Rangers game.
Yeah. Oh, you got the Rangers? That's okay. We're flipping back and forth. You watch that, I watch this. So,
okay.
Yeah, that was great. That was holy crow. That was something. So, yeah, Vancouver, Nashville. We were talking about that when we went to the break. So, yeah, how about that? So, Vancouver has won every game this year, and they've held Nashville to 2 goals in each of the 4 games. And it's kind of a little quirky, but if you want to play a hunch, you bet Nashville to score exactly 2 goals, or as you were mentioning, Dave, bet an exact score 4-2, 3-2, maybe 2-1. Snuck over the 5.5 with the empty netter. Don't know if you're going to get to 6 goals tonight, but I think Nashville finds a way to win. Or excuse me, I think Vancouver finds a way to win again, though. What about you?
I'm going to look at these exact score props if I can find them.
Yeah, let me see.
It's not easy to find these exact score props.
Well, there's so much stuff.
So deep, it's just crazy.
There's so much.
All right, so exact goals. Total goals in a game. Wow, two goals would be 3,300. So 33 to 1. Yeah.
Well, total goals in a game. Yeah, not total goals. Total goals for Nashville.
Under 2.5 plus 112.
Yeah.
Total goals.
I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, so am I. There it is. All right, correct score. Wow. So you're saying 2 goals is the number, huh?
Yeah. 2 is the number.
All right. So we find Vancouver 4-2 is 18 to 1.
That's not
Vancouver 3-2 is 11 to 1.
Not as
Vancouver
good, but okay.
5-2 is 20 to 1.
Ooh.
I mean, so if you think they're going to land on 2 again, those are the scenarios with Vancouver winning. 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 11, 18, and 20. All you need to do is hit 1, and you're good. Nashville winning 2-1 would be a big number. Let's look at that. Nashville winning 2-1 is 18 to 1. So there's your 2 scenarios. I don't think they're getting a shutout. I love the end of games in the third period when the visiting team is down. Every whistle is a scrum with the Rangers and the Capitals right now. Every single one. Brempy's probably going to have to answer the bell with Tom Wilson here coming up at some point. I don't know about the shots on goal yet, but this one may get this. If another goal is scored, this is going to get silly. The third
how
period
many they
of
have? How many? I forget. How many they have after 2 periods? 16.
I will tell you exactly.
7 and 9.
Right
I think you said it was.
The Capitals have
6. I think
6 shots.
Not that bad. Oh, I should have tripled that bet.
6 shots already.
How are they not getting 8 shots on goal when they're down 4-2? Oh.
And the Rangers only have 2. The Rangers only have 2.
Yeah, they had it reversed. The boys in Vegas had it backwards.
Yeah.
I bet someone made a mistake.
Rangers
I
under.
Bet you.
Caps over.
Is that possible, Dave, that some guy punching that in punched the Capital numbers for the Rangers and the Rangers numbers for the Capitals?
I mean, anything is possible, but a lot of times those things are sent automated. They're just automated numbers. They're taking averages. They're not even watching the game, not even looking at the game. So you don't have that going on. So
I love that bet.
Yeah. Well, listen, they get away. Sometimes they get away. What do you think of Minnesota being down to Phoenix right now? It might be time to jump in there.
Yeah.
No?
But I tell you, I'm down 60. Well, actually, they're down 63-60. Phoenix leads. Basically, it's 2.5. Phoenix now favored by 2.5. They were 3-point underdogs to start. Over under is 202. Boy, we can't find it over in these NBA playoffs, David. It is amazing. it's a shame the regular season wasn't this competitive. It really is. Otherwise, there'd be more NBA fans. But I know so many people that are disgusted with it. But the old zigzag theory in the NBA, right? Minnesota takes game 1. Phoenix is theoretically going to take game 2. Bucks leading, though, Indiana 38-35. I thought Phoenix would win tonight. Every time I tell myself I'm going to give up on this dopey team, I go right back to the well. I keep on thinking the big 3 is going to carry them. But
you do?
I don't know why.
I'm not buying it.
No?
I'm not buying it. No, I'm not buying it. Until I see Phoenix win a game on the road, okay, I'm not buying it. Now, Phoenix may go back to Arizona and win both games and win them handily, okay? Look at this, 0-8 against the spread. Their last 8 playoff games as an underdog. All right, so you got to beat that trend. Over 5-1 the last 6 road games. That's fine, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the Suns until I see them win a game on the road. Could they do it tonight? For sure. But these fourth quarters have been all home teams.
Yeah, they really have. It's amazing how they just turned it on the fourth quarter, these teams. Minnesota's not a bad little team with Cat back in there. They really aren't. They might be a little bit of a pain in the ass for the Denver Nuggets if they end up facing each other. All right, InGame Live continues here on the Grid.
Talked about the Otani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well for Game Green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the Grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, watching a little NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, a little baseball. I haven't checked, obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but I haven't checked on the Dodgers. Last time we talked about baseball, they were down 1-0. They actually taken a 3-1 lead over the Nationals. Yeah, that was a pretty good bet. Yeah, plus money with the Dodgers, down only 1-0. I know they've come way, way back, but not that far back. Although the Stankies only lead the A's 4-3. They bottom of the 8th inning. Laid a run and a half with them yesterday. And then again today. So we need to get a little RBI single here. First and second, nobody out, which is a good thing. White Sox winning against the Twins 3-1, top 7. You can get the White Sox are just 3 wins, Dave. I didn't think the White Sox would be this bad. They got the worst record in baseball. How about the Twinkies plus 240? Bottom of the top 7. You got 3 at bats.
50 games. We got to have you on Bostonian versus the book because I got to ask you these questions. You got to tell me when you're free because Peralt's all over me about will the White Sox win 50 games? Will the Marlins win 50 games? Or will the Rockies win 50 games? Or combine the 3. If you give a total of 150, would you bet over or under? Because they're like 2 of the 3 are historically bad right now.
Yeah. Miami made the playoffs last year, so I'm thinking
know
they're going to turn things around a little bit, right? We all kind of forget about that, but that goofy team made the playoffs last year. So
but their pitching staff is decimated. It's decimated. Right. They're not. They got no pitching staff at all.
Where'd they all go? Because it was pretty good last year.
Yeah,
they got hurt.
All that. Yep, elbows. 2 UCLs out. Alcantara's out. So they're a mess. The easiest bet in baseball right now has been against the Marlins and against the White Sox. But the Twins haven't been great. That was a gigantic price today, minus 220. It closed with the Twins. I'm not in a hurry to grab them in game right now, plus money. I mean, I might grab a run and a half. They're going to score. Has the White Sox closer even pitched yet this season? They only have 3 wins. I don't even know if he's closed, right? It's April 23rd. I don't know if he has an appearance. So, this is one of those things that, like, as an odds maker in a sportsbook, you're still trying to piece out what teams are and how much to adjust it for certain things. And again, I think we can find out who the bad teams are a lot sooner than we can find out who the good teams are. And one of the things we do, I would put us up against anybody doing it, is find those bullpens that we can constantly pick on or against while we're doing in-game live. I don't know the first thing about the White Sox bullpen because I don't know how many times they've actually been in with a lead. So we'll see. This is a learning experience for us, though.
Tell you, anti-Colorado, anti-White Sox, anti-A. Although the A's have been somewhat respectable this year, they're not. They're not actually in that category of the White Sox and Rockies. I mean, they've actually
and the Marlins. Yeah, the White Sox, Rockies, and Marlins. 3 worst teams. Yeah. Not the A's.
I mean, the White Sox have 3 wins. The Rockies have 5, and the Marlins have 6. But I tell you what, even the Astros, who are losing again tonight, have only 7. So the Astro fan who wants to laugh at the other 3, I wouldn't laugh too loud. I mean, boy, you bet against the Astros. You bet on, really more likely people would be betting on them, right? You bet on the Astros every game, you're getting killed.
Odds makers refuse to believe what they're seeing with the Astros. The Astros were favored at the Cubs today. Okay, closed as the favorite. Now, it's probably going to turn, but I wore all the Astros stuff today on the show with Matt because he's been asking me for a week, are you concerned yet about the Astros? Are you concerned yet about the Astros? My answer is this. I'm not concerned until we get to May. They better win 5 of the last 7 games of this month and try to turn this around because they could be they may not necessarily be out of it, but the division isn't like completely running away with anything, but they're putting themselves in a big hole.
Yeah. And they're in a division with Texas, obviously, and I think Seattle's going to be a pretty good club that, they could be, like you said, 10 games out, 12 games out. Whereas the Dodgers, Arizona, obviously, they went to the World Series, but, I don't know if they're going to be that much more than a 5 or 10 game over 500 team. The Dodgers have a lot more room to give before they need to worry. So, in-game live, we'll check out all the numbers when we come back here on the grid.
about the Otani story, this interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He was like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
And welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. It's so easy to make money with the boys in Vegas. We got this thing down pat. Good news, bad news, Dave. The good news is Washington got another shot on goal, so they now have 8 for the period. So if you bet the 8 and the 10, as I suggested, the 8 was plus odds, as obviously the 10 was. So at worst, you're going to win money, and you still got 7.5 minutes left. Chances are pretty good you're going to hit that 10 also. The bad news for you is that shot on goal was a goal. Capitals score. So it's now Rangers 4, Capitals 3 with 7.5 minutes left.
That's good.
Now,
let's keep it close. I don't want any cruising around. I don't want anybody taking runs. They already did that. The bench is almost cleared. They, little melee. Capitals did what they had to do to get back in this game. Let's play it close to the vest. Let's play it to the end. That's fine. I don't want to see him tie it. We don't need a tying goal here. And that would be helpful for the total if you're betting over. So you get one more goal, that'll get you over that 8.5 number. If it's Washington, because then it's tied and we're playing maybe overtime. So good stuff right there. That's fine. The shots on goal prop, again, I wish we had the Rangers under 10.
That's going to cash.
I expect 2 to go with the Capitals over.
Yeah, I think the boys in Vegas got wise to this because I see third period shots on goal for Florida, Tampa Bay, and both teams are monster minus 440, minus 360 for 8. Like we were getting odds with Washington. 10 is even now minus 172 for Florida, minus 122 for Tampa Bay. They may have screwed up one game. We had one opportunity to really pound them on that. So now there's no 11. They only go, for whatever reason, 8, 10, 12, 14. So you either got to lay odds at 10 or plus odds at 12. I'm not big on 12 shots on goal in a period in a 2-2 game. So as much as I love this bet, it's not really the ideal situation, is it?
Does that count overtime, or is it just third period?
Just third period.
Just third period. Okay.
Just third.
No, that's good. Listen, I'm sure we're on in buildings all over the country, risk rooms, and guys are watching us and going, sometimes at Sharapan and Wetzel, they come up with something and it's not bad. So, they had to adjust the number. You can learn from anywhere. Just like I said, you've said this before, send a check to Scott Wetzel for the consulting job. You guys know where to find me. I'm at Sports Beat Cake and Sig on the socials, and that's my email as well. So sportsbeatcakeandsig@gmail.com. We're taking emails, making numbers. How do you make a number for Arizona at St. Louis right now? Baseball game. You see what the score is right now? Arizona at St. Louis.
I played a
What
little
are
hunch
we
on the Cardinals
doing?
today. Nice bet. 14-1. Bottom six, they're giving 18.5 is the total. How long before we see an outfielder start pitching for the Cardinals?
Right.
12.5 is the number. Runs.
I can't say I've ever advocated laying 12.5 in a baseball game.
Right.
But I figured that Arizona's not done. Like they're not done scoring. Right?
Yeah.
The backup catcher's coming in, the second baseman, the backup right fielder. Somebody's going to come in and throw that probably 8th inning, right? Or the 9th.
Yeah.
I don't know. But 14-1, those are the fun games. That's what I mean. Like people say this all the time. You can find bets pretty much in any sport. Like you can find wagers. You found the shots on goal prop for a team in a third period of playoff game.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. So that's the beauty of this business is that good team, bad team, regional interest, all this other stuff, you can find these bets all over, apps, shows. That's one of the most fun things about doing this show. I love when you hit me with something like that or, Vinny or somebody says it in our ear. Hey, did you see this? Foster probably comes up with a Celtics one while we're watching a Celtics game or something. There's good stuff in there.
Yeah. I heard Carver, what did he say yesterday? Man, I can't believe I don't remember. He said on Bet MGM in hockey, they were offering, what was it? It was something goofy. And I liked ooh, that's kind of cool. Not will the game go to overtime. It had something to do with overtime. I forget what it was. It was man, I can't believe I forgot what it was. But it was something goofy like, will there be a shot in overtime or something? I don't remember what it was. But these stuff I know I'm getting too old. I'll tell you, the COVID just wipes out the brain. It really does. It just,
you
it's
got to
crazy.
get it back. Your filing system, I know it's in there. You just got to find the filing system. And I mean, you carry a pen with you. I carry a pen with me everywhere I go. And I keep these parlay card stubs that I get from the books everywhere. I got them by a desk. I got them in my car. Because if I hear something, see something, or say something, like Dane used to say all the time, the see something, say something crew, I write it down. The problem for me is that I can't find it after I write it down. That's the problem.
Right.
I know I've written it somewhere, and I don't know where to put it. So that's good.
All right. Minnesota's taking a 77-71 lead over Phoenix. 9 seconds left in the third quarter. Another low-scoring game, right? It was 212.5, 213 or so. Now it's a 201.5. Minnesota was a dog not that long ago. Now they're 6.5-point favorites. Wow. And Pacers, Bucks, this is more Indiana style. 60-55 at the half. Laying 3.5 over under 228.5. Tough for the Bucks to win 2 times in a row without the Greek Freak, who's really not Greek. I did like Indiana. I liked all the dogs. I thought Phoenix, or at least the road teams, depending what you want to consider Indiana.
So right now,
16-1.
you got that game at halftime, and you got the Suns, getting ready to go to the fourth quarter. If you had to pick one road team to win, which one is it?
Indiana. I thought the Pacers would win. So, Indiana. And I wouldn't have any problem laying 3.5 right now. In fact, I'm a little surprised, right? They were a 1-point underdog right? A pick 'em or so, right? But okay,
Right.
underdog. They are favored by 3.5, Dave, but they are up by 5. In a game that's pick 'em, should that be like 4.5, 5? Not that's that big a deal, but that seems a little off to me.
No, you keep that under the number. You
Yeah.
got to find, because the money's coming on Milwaukee. Like the halftime number sits, you can't make it where it falls on the number because it can't end 5. The second half can't end 5 because it goes overtime. So, what do you think? And we're going to look ahead to the night game. Mets and Giants. I can't believe this number. I'm looking at this game and I'm going, this one feels too easy. This feels way too easy to me.
Blake Snell and the Giants at home, -130. Mets been playing well. I got to tell you, they've been playing real well. Manaea's pitched okay. Goes back to the Bay Area. He was with the Oakland A's for a long time, at least a few years anyway. I had the Mets last night, and obviously that didn't work out too well. So I get what you're thinking, only -130, but problem with Blake Snell is he pitches 5 innings. He just used up too many pitches. Yeah,
it's Webb. I got
Webb.
Webb.
It's not Webb.
Listed,
Oh, I'm looking at
Snell.
Wednesday's slate. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'll tell you when I come back.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Heading down to the wire, Capitals and Rangers. Capitals pulling the goalie with 2.5 minutes left, down only a goal, 4-3. Interesting. Talk a little hockey with our main man, Mr. Cam Stewart, joining us now here on the grid. What's going on, Cam? How are you today, bud?
Pretty good, Scott. Yeah, I'm looking at the scoreboard going. I got the Timberwolves. Looks good right now. Indiana, sure. Hockey, not going too bad right now. Need an empty netter by the Rangers. Going to take the Lightning live, plus 112 in that game as well. Heading into the games tonight, guys, let's take a look at the board, shall we? We had a 13-goal game last game with Colorado and the Jets. I'm taking the under 6.5. 13. How about we get under 6 this game as the teams tighten up? Could be a recipe for disaster, but that's what I'm doing. Lean to the Avalanche, but don't want to bet against the Jets. I got them in the series. We'll play that game live. Coming up, Gabe's Canucks versus the Nashville Predators. I like the Predators tonight plus 108, and I'm seeing a 5.5. I like the over with Demko out there. Bad news for the Canucks with Demko. We don't know. He's day to day, but they're going to go deep. They're going to need him. That's a real big blow to that team.
No question. How are you feeling after the Maple Leafs close out game 2? Coming home, what's the buzz? What's the buzz at home, Cam? I mean, that was a hell of a sweat. We were on the air yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Your game ended well. Kirsch's did not. Kirsch's Islanders. That was a bad.
I was on the Islanders plus 1.5 too. Couldn't even get that. Like Kurtz literally was losing his mind when he was on with me and Gabe. I felt horrible for him. Like this team, I don't know how you do that. I know they've done it a lot this year, but that's why Elite is never safe in hockey, guys. He was the best. I talked to my dad today. He's like, first thing he says, did you bet on the Leafs? I go, yeah. He goes, you got a little bit of your money back? I go, yes, John, just a little. He goes, do you think they could do it again? I'm like, I don't know. Probably not, but let's just enjoy the positive days, Dad. We got one. Let's go, Leafs. So I still got that bet with Peralta, and I got to tell you, Dave, relief. The problem is these tickets are going for a lot of money. You're not going to have the right fans in the building. I tried to get in. I know we're off Thursday and Friday for the NFL draft. If the game was Thursday, I would have actually ponied up and gone. I would just scream my lungs out, even get Visine Vince there too. He's a madman because we need fans in this building, not the sushi and roast beef crowd. Like these guys in the platinum seats for $2,000. Talk about your stocks later. We got a playoff game. I'm watching Winnipeg, great atmosphere. I'm watching when the Rangers score a goal, I'm going nuts. Like, you know what I mean? Whoa, I love their like songs and stuff. It's like, hey, Leafs, like you're supposed to be one of the, you got a great fan base. The problem is all the losers that go to the games are just, oh, yes, I got the tickets handed to me from my business partner. What a deal we cracked on the golf course. I'm like, dude, get some fans in that damn building, even if it's in the nosebleeds. But guys, yeah, Dave, I'm feeling optimistic. I really like the fact they didn't panic when they were down. The old teams, they could have like really folded. And the fact that Matthews had points, like their big guys were their big guys. And that's been the problem all the time. If you look at Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and Riley, all of those guys have playoff averages less than the regular season averages for points. So you want your stars to be stars? How come every time I watch Boston, Pasternak scores or does something good? So that's good news for the Leafs in that series. Basketball, guys, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Futures, anything like that, whatever you have on your mind. But baseball tonight, what do we got going on? Anything left? Kansas City's up on the Jays. Yep, that's about right. And lean Giants, but I don't like that juice.
We get to the baseball in a second. You know, Wetzel has this black cloud play of the night.
Oh, I love his black cloud.
The black cloud is against everybody. Look at this thing.
I love
this
that
is
play,
when
Wetzel.
it was still Dallas -2. It's fine. Dallas +2 now.
Yeah, don't worry. Wetzel's going to be all right. They're going to win this game by 2 or more. Don't worry, Wetzel. I'm riding the cloud with you together. We come back with the Mavericks tonight. Don't worry about game 1. It's like people think about the Pacers. They show up tonight. One game does not make a series. We're older guys. We're not these kids freaking out and stuff like that. We've seen it all. So I'm not going to panic after one damn game. They got to show up tonight, though. And Wetzel, I think they can win this game. Literally, it'll be tight. But free throws, I'm thinking, between 4 and 6. But I like the Mavericks tonight. It's not my favorite play on the board. I'm probably going to bet more on hockey, but that's what I do regularly, as Dave knows. Golf picks tomorrow. Scotty Scheffler ruined another Sunday. Scott, I hope you rode some of the picks I gave you. I think a couple guys came second, third. Wyndham Clark made a late run. Shout out to Keith Stewart, new on the network. He gave Carver 30-1 with Scheffler and Nelly Korda. By the way, Nelly Korda, for people not paying attention, has won 5 straight tournaments on the LPGA Tour, and Scotty Scheffler has won 4 of his last 5. The good news, Scheffler's not there for this week because his wife finally might give birth. Hallelujah. He's not at the Zurich in the team event. I got some real
Korda
for you guys tomorrow. Yeah,
Korda dropped out too this week. Yeah.
She's too. I don't know why she's dropping out. She's good. Like she can keep on playing. Scotty Scheffler, I don't know what's going on. His wife's pregnant. That's all I know. And I know he's not competing this week. Thank God. I can actually maybe hit a bet. But first round leaders where I'm at now, guys. That's the way to go when this guy's in the field for sure.
All right, Rangers win 4-3.
See, can't even get an empty netter with 3 minutes to go. See,
Yeah.
Wetzel, what's what we're talking about? Come on, Dave.
Yeah.
Thought your good luck hat would help us here.
I do have a question. Why is the Boston-Toronto series pick 'em when the Bruins weren't that big of favorites to begin with, and Toronto, stole a game in Boston? Shouldn't the Maple Leafs be favored?
Wetzel, I would say past history would dictate that line. The Leafs collapsing and losing at home would dictate that line. Them falling apart usually would dictate that line.
Such a small favorite?
I know, Scotty. It's one damn game. Like, it's fine. Leave the spread. It's a perfect number. You get both sides of the action. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. No, they're not going to. Actually, you know what?
Vegas is a minus 182 favorite against Dallas after winning Game 1. So
that's ridiculous. That's crazy.
That's really high.
I'm going to take Dallas. Actually, you know what? I took the Leafs when they were down one game plus 220 on my book, and I'm actually now, thank you, Wetzel, for reminding me, Dallas will be played. Any team down 1-0 with a price like that, you got to pay them. You don't think Vegas and Dallas is going to 7 games? Dallas isn't folding up like that. Vegas just came out hot. Dave knows they're a good team. I guess Stone's pretty healthy. Okay.
He's fine. He's fine. You know who else is fine?
Yes.
McDavid. Did you see what he did last night? Like McDavid points prop, assists over, all that stuff.
Yep.
We'll talk more about it on the other side. But Cam, Edmonton's going to win that series.
You're damn right they are in 5.
Talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it, but the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Throwbacks in white have now become the main uniforms in black and green as well. 4-game green.
Your contracts will be higher in 5 years because the ratings will be through the roof, people. Listen to me. Play games at 7 o'clock. Get more ratings. Make more money. It's simple, but somehow they're imbeciles that make this playoff schedule. I can't figure it out.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
It's when he swung it easy at 3/4 golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10-plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Game Time had 35 in the first half, Cam. And then, of course, he did not have another point the rest of the game.
Lillard's, it's playoff game time. This guy will show up. He will hit shots. Indiana, you better respond here because I'll tell you, that's a bad, bad, bad loss. We were wrong, Carver. Like, hey, I admit, I was on the Pelicans. This game, I lost.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, PrimeTime here on the grid. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan wrapping things up. Couple of more minutes here with our good buddy Cam Stewart, who takes over top of the hour. As we got hockey, NBA, a little baseball as well. So him and Gabe Morency will take you for the next 2 here on the grid. Dave, I know you had another question for Cam.
No, we were talking about, the Giants playing the Mets this tonight. And I really like Logan Webb and the starts that he's had this season. I feel like that line is a little bit light, and I feel like I'm missing something. So I always like to ask you quickly, am I missing something, or is this Giants like the play?
I like the Giants. I don't like the number, but I bet it, Dave. Like, it's just one of those things. Okay. Webb's so damn good that I think you're barking up the right tree. Hey, you've steered me in the right direction with a lot of baseball games. So I would say trust your instinct, Dave. Baseball is your game, and if you like the Giants, I'd stick with it. But for all the people out there and these teams down one goal, especially in hockey, and you're getting like plus 170s and 2-1s and stuff, hit both sides. What do we got?
Was it?
Oh,
Winnipeg
the Jets! Oh my God! Wow. Hey, Georgiev, he goes.
He's shot.
Oh, he's done. The Rangers fans are
Wow.
like, thank God we got rid of Georgiev. He's a sieve.
Wow.
Man, that guy sucks. Remember the Canadians goalie Red Light Rasico? Georgiev is the worst. Like, this guy's horrible.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. He's just not even an NHL goaltender. He is awful. But anyway, that's not good for my
with the Rangers, though.
Yeah, the Rangers, but Colorado, I'm telling you, other than Cale Makar, take a look at their team, man. They're like a one-line team. They're not that good. Colorado Avalanche have a couple, like, they got wicked scorers and stuff. Defensively, they're a train wreck. Other than Makar, and he's an offensive guy. Like, see the Jets scored 7 goals on these guys. Like, I watch a lot of Colorado games. They're very loose, and their goaltending. The backup's hurt. He used to play for the Manitoba Moose. It's funny because that's Winnipeg's farm team in the American Hockey League, right? So I don't know if he's healthy yet, Assison or whatever his name is, but this guy he's not ready to go. So I don't know.
Yeah.
If Gorgiev lets in another goal in a couple minutes, he's done. Like the Muppet Show, the hook's coming out. He's done.
Right.
They gave up 7 the other night. They didn't yank him. They don't have anyone to back him up. You got to call up They got to call up Gabe. Hey, Gabe.
Yeah, they might call up Gabe. Yeah, or the goalie from the Colorado Eagles. Like, my cousin's wife's brother plays for that team. He actually got drafted. He's I think he's on that team now. He played for the Grand Rapids Griffins too. Like, he's pretty good. He's an AHL player. I met him at a wedding. Good guy. Big tall kid. I wouldn't want to mess with him, but I was hoping he got called. He played a little bit with the Red Wings and stuff. But anyway, guys, tonight, I don't know, man. If Vancouver can find it, if Vancouver can find a way without Demko, Dave, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think the team will play better defensive hockey with the backup goalie, DeSmith, in the thing. So I will take the under 6. I know it's 5.5, but I found a 6, and I'll lay the little bit of juice with it instead of the plus. Yeah, you're damn right it is, Scott. 5.5 and 6. Big difference.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Golf picks. No Scotty Scheffler. Maybe winners. Later, fellas. I'm out of here. Be gone.
All right, Kev Stewart gave the top of the hour. I tell you, the one team, Dave, that I'm a little afraid of with our 3-league, 3-team parlay. You know, we already cashed with Connecticut, right? So now we got the champions of the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals. Pretty good. We're pretty good NBA. We got Boston and Denver. We took a little flyer on Milwaukee. But the NHL, now we have Colorado. That I don't think that's going to work out. We have Florida and we have Dallas. We need some work there. But I'm afraid of your Vegas Golden Knights. You know, with Stone back and with Hurdle there, boy, they're going to be a tough out, Dave. They're going to be a real tough out.
Listen, this is what they do,
I wish
right?
we chose
they
them.
rested a couple guys in March, and Stone looked great last night, ready to go, and they basically set the matchup, you know, the way they did it with getting Dallas and avoiding Edmonton in the first round. We'll see. Be careful what you ask for. They went and got the matchup. Dallas's best game of the series is tomorrow at home after being down 1-0. And I mean, they gave up a power play goal 28 seconds into the game. They were chasing the game the whole time. They tied it, and then it was 2-1, and they were behind the whole time. They get a lead, they're different. So relax. But this place is buzzing again. They're already talking about Vegas and, you know, making plans for another Stanley Cup run. Everybody's flags are out on the street. They're on the cars. It's happening all over again. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, we're going to have to try and sneak them in there somehow, some way. So anyway, great job as always, Dave. We'll do it again. Winnipeg got 1-0. Florida, Tampa Bay tied at 2. Have fun, guys. Cam and Gabe take it over. Top of the hour.
It's when he swung it easy at three-quarter golf swings, and he pretty much hit his number all the time. Dude, but when he hit something full, he hit it 20 yards over the greens at times. He's like, what are you doing?
He's just smiley, happy, and a freakish athlete golf robot that's going to be right there winning majors for the next 10 plus years. It's amazing.
Did you say he was smiling or smiley?
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says